just a recap that where are we? In fact, we are nowhere anywhere, alright, because we have cleared everything already. Okay, but I just want to enhance further stuff because it's also part of our presentation. Part of the presentation slide that talks about the main design consideration for coating. The coating itself, which implies that the last one, okay, the last of it, addition of layer to the surface. So this thing is called a coating. So there will be these considerations of your for designing a certain coating. Alright, so I think I don't need to explain much. I just want to highlight the thing is that the substrate, alright, is actually the surface of the one that you want to coat. Alright, so this is the material, this is called the substrate, alright, or the specimen. Okay, while this one is the surface. So it's all in all they are talking about somewhat the same thing. Alright, so be careful of that. So want to take note of the shelf life of the finished surface. Alright, you don't want it that you paint already after maybe 1 year the paint drop off, alright, or flakes. Or normally I don't know whether I just search for you. It's not this type of flakes. This type, as you can see. So the surface actually have certain flakes, so the paint actually drop off. Alright, most probably due to the moisture in between the paint and the substrate. Alright, so I don't know where am I. Give me a moment. Yeah, so your substrate is over here. You put a layer of paint. So if you were to put a layer of paint a long time, alright, if you have underwater or whatever, the water may actually seep into the paint, alright, and create a water layer. So this water layer over here will create debonding effect. Yeah, so you create a debonding effect, which actually causes the flakes to happen. So you need to also predict amount of time where the surface is it can tank, alright, because when you're talking about the ship hull or whatever, this type of painting would actually requires, because you actually predict the amount of time you need to maintain, alright, so the maintenance time, alright, how much the maintenance cycle, so you need to also take note of that. And yeah, everything is about the cost, alright, and the volume also. So therefore so there will be actually other stuff talks about the painting and the coating. So these are all the case study, alright, so if you want to continue, you can continue, otherwise you can also go to the other videos that you want. Alright, so nonetheless, the case study over here is talking about painting, alright, or the coating. Sorry. So the coating itself is only the painting is with certain polymer or some plastic, alright, where the vehicle normally some people will call it some people I believe it's called a binder, alright, the binder, pigment, and solvent. So the paint is considered of comprises of these three things. So the binder holds the pigment of the surface to the surface, or the binder is a polymer substance and is dissolved into the paint or suspended by certain emulsifier or certain catalyst. So it's like a add-on to make the paint to melt or whatever, to dissolve the paint, alright, or to dissolve the binder into the everything like a liquid form. Okay, hopefully you're kind of clear about that. So therefore the vehicle over here, I think is the binder, contains the film forming ingredients that dry to form the solid film. The solid film is just the solid paint that you're talking about. There's a film, alright, because it's one thin layer on top of your surface, alright, of the material. So the film is a painting film, okay, and it also acts as a carrier for the pigment and include metallic and ceramic flakes. Alright, so this metallic and ceramic flakes, I think, is to protect the paint, is to increase the painting, to increase the resistance of the film. Alright, because this metallic thing over here could actually a long time could actually interact with the surface, or atmosphere, to have certain reaction. So it can actually also create an oxide layer which can further protect from corrosion and things like that. Alright, so the main types of paint and their selection criteria are shown in table 1. Alright, so table 1 is it this one? Give me a moment. This is the table 1. Alright, and they actually rated the different so-called painting. Alright, so these are urethane, the type of paints that you're going to use, the cost. So they will compare the cost, abrasion, flexibility, everything. So actually it's quite a very good table. So you can pause the video if you want, take a picture or whatever. So at least you can, in the future you may need painting stuff, alright, at least you get to know what type of things that you want. So yeah. So you can also search for Materials and Process Selection Engineering Publisher 1979 from Farun MM. So these are the things that you may want to further read up if in the future if you need it. Okay, but at least you get to know that the different coatings, this is organic coatings, so different coatings will give you different type of properties. Alright, the resistance to atmosphere, flexibility, adhesion, everything. So at least it open up your mind. Temperature rating, chemicals reaction, things like that. So therefore, which polymer coating is suitable for car body paint? Okay, I also don't know. You can use phosphate coat, alright, to prevent against corrosion and prepares the surface for the E-coat. So the E-coat itself is an electrode coat that then a high voltage is applied. Yeah, I think also to protect against corrosion. There's an anode and cathode also. Alright, and the primer base coat. Alright, solid paints. So you can read it up yourself, which is pretty interesting also. Yeah, but nonetheless, not much of a thing given, but at least you get to know a few stuff. In exams, they may actually ask you about what type of painting do you suggest for a certain particular thing. For example, car just now. So you may want to talk about the cost, the abrasion resistance, and all these things. You need to articulate well in order to choose the best of them. Alright, and most probably you're gonna talk about. So most probably you're gonna talk about how to choose the coating, which if you remember that we did actually mention. Alright, if you think about it. Figure 2, alright, we actually mentioned selecting the surface engineering process. So you need to know what type of properties that you want for your surface. Or what type of properties, adhesive, temperature or whatever. Once you know the surface already, then you need to know what is the problem. Is it environment? Is it corrosion? Is it different type of wear? What type of friction? Is it cyclic loading? Once you know the problem, give it a solution. And solution, what type of hardening process do you do? What type of coating do you advise? What properties of the coating do you want? And these are all talking about this thing over here, our slides. And therefore you have to talk about all these things. And these are all the design considerations which also been discussed over here that we have said. So these are all the design considerations. Alright, and therefore the table over here, as you can see, now most probably you need to use the weighted properties table. Alright, where you kind of rank which is the best paint for your scenario. Alright. Nonetheless, digital logic method, if in the future you may forgot or whatever, at least it's here, digital logic method and weighted properties table. You can type this thing and then you can go and search for selection of material by weighted property method. Alright, because there is not much of a video talking about that, so you can do this for yourself if you need it. Alright, nonetheless I have other videos if you remember in the materials video. So over here you may want to add in the paint, alright, the processing methods, what type of film, what type of coating, alright, and most of all, in addition to polymeric coating, alright, you also want to have a certain metallize to enhance the appearance of the surface. So metallize meaning is that, for example, you have some car. Maybe I should show you over here. Alright, this is the GTA car. Alright, this is more on the matte material. Alright, as you can see, it's a bit very dull. Alright, but over here, if you have a metallic or pearlescent, alright, but I think it's somewhat a bit same. Or pearlescent is more, how do I say? The pearlescent is an additional layer on top of the metallic, I think, because in order to do pearlescent, we need metallic. Alright, that's what in the GTA do lah. Okay, so metallic itself is to create a very glossy surface. Alright, glossy surface, so that it can looks very nice. Okay, as compared to this one, the matte is a bit dull. At least you get to see the difference between them. Other related wear properties including resistance to UV radiation, because most of the car recently are talking about composite. So composite is talking about polymer. So long-term polymer under UV light could actually deteriorate over time. So this is why you also be careful of that. And therefore there will be so in order to do this, you incorporate everything in the molding, within the molding process of the plastic straight away. Alright, therefore the Nisha MIMD film transfer process actually do that. So this is more on the case study now. Okay, in the Nisha thing, alright, they have a design. Alright, different design like metallic, the pearlescent, or non-glossy finishes. Alright, the matte, I should say. Okay, you can choose your own design, so-called how the surface finish is. okay, and also the function. So within the design you have certain function, like for example abrasion resistance, chemical resistance, optical performance, etc. So all these properties are being incorporated into the design. Alright, and nonetheless the Nisha also talked about the products. Alright, because since you have the design and the function, what is the most cost effective method and the environmental characteristics. So they will choose for you the appropriate products for your, so they will analyze the appropriate surface finish for you. Alright, so this is why Nisha is doing that. Alright, so it's more in the case study for for these things. Alright, so these are the following surface hardening method. Alright, you can hardening it, you can improve it, or you can optical characteristic like anti-glare. Alright, so optical diffusions and here and there lah. Okay, so yeah, this is more on the detailed way, but at least you get to see the potential in this sector. So I just want to highlight something that is pretty interesting on the overview part. Alright, at least it raise your awareness, like abrasion strength, abrasion resistance, etc. I think you know. But what is interesting is the anti-scattering, prevent scatter and fall of broken glass fragments. So to a certain extent the surface itself could prevent certain scattering of the broken glass, which is wow. Okay, like I don't know how it works, but and then fingerprint resistance. Alright, iPhone, self repair, wow, piang eh, caused by surface abrasion. I don't know how it works. I think it's more on the cell. So we'll implant certain cell in there and then they will grow itself. Okay, or perhaps certain lubrication method, alright, and like micro welds or whatever, I think. So I don't know what the hell, but yeah. Then optical diffusions, I think you know what it means. So at least you get to see the more or the functional side, you see. So the functional side is all discussed. That's why I say function right over here. So the functional side is this one. Okay, and therefore the printing and the deposition technology, what is it about? If you think about it, there are different technology. Alright, the graver printing technology, screen printing technology, wet coating technology, dry coating, and heat processing technology. So different technology give you different type of surface finish, I should say, and it will give you different type of printing films with a certain width. As you can see, it's millimeter, so it's about 6.5 cm. Alright, and over here is about 10 cm. Alright, also 11 colors. Alright, I don't know whether you can see. So yeah, at least you can see a different thing. So if you need it in the future, you can just search this type of keywords and further venture into the one that you want to talk about. Alright, so over here is the printing technology. Alright, printing technology. Over here, this is the coating technology. So how you coat it and how you print it. Alright, so if you want the printing, you can talk about this printing. If you want coating, you can talk about this coating. I'll not evaluate further, but you just need to know the key concept. Alright, these keywords will do. Yeah, if happen that exams they ask you it, or like you kind of know the keywords. Alright, and processing technology. Alright, the process technology, you can have a transfer, whatever. I don't think I need to explain much. So mold and design and production, injection molding technology. So they provide different type of technology with it. Alright, with different. So this technology will include the coloring and everything. Alright, and give you a better surface finish. And bonding technology, as I also highlight, is that the bonding technology ensures that the air bubbles do not form. Okay, and forming technology ensures that the shapes using heat and pressure are kept, because sometimes heat and pressure, you will talk about the shapes being expanded, thermal expansion. Alright, so they have to control the thermal expansion in a way that it doesn't change the shape significantly. Alright, so therefore thermal forming technology also talks about that. Alright, so yeah, you can search for Nisha if you need it. So all in all, when I come here, the Nisha is like already dead soon. Now Walkman, Walkman. Then wow, piang eh, this type of phone, they're doing this type of thing, and I think the company already gone. I don't know. Okay, sorry, my fault. It's still alive. It is still alive. Anyway, yeah, so this is the process, injection molding and things like that, extraction of a molding part. I think I don't need to explain this one more on the injection molding process. alright. And oh, okay, so they actually put a foil over here first. So this foil is the coating already. So once you put the foil in, you fill in the resins, it will melt together with the foil. So over here, this is what we'll take out. You'll take out together with the foil and the coating. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Didn't know that. And then heat transfer printing, I think is just you roll it, heat pressure, so you heat it on the coating and then you'll stick onto the surface of a product, most probably the handphone, alright. So things like that, and quite a few details. You can just take screenshot, or in the future if you need it, you can just take screenshot, alright. And yeah, so of this specifications, alright, like color, texture, gloss, alright, where applicability on what materials, alright, brass, stainless steel or whatever, alright, and geometry, part life, cost effective. So these are the things that you also want to take note of in the future that you may want to venture into. And the challenges. So over here, it's quite interesting. It's talking about the eye receptors recepting on different colors. So there will be a L scale, the light scale, I think, versus the dark. So you from here you can differentiate between different colors, different hues of the color. Or maybe this is green, but they may have a lighter green, a darker green, as you can see, lighter green, darker green. And this thing over here is in between the orange. This is orange and green, so you mix together, you have this thing. Blue and green, you mix together, you have a bit blue and a bit green, type of thing. So yeah, as you can see, they come up with a certain methodology to actually indicate the different colors, alright. So like for example, yellow and red, you mix together, it become orange, like macam only, like cool, alright. And this is actually from the Hunter lab, alright. And there's more to it, or the color scales, you can check it out yourself. If you want to search, you can search it out. So they actually have a very detailed software to actually determine the amount of colors, alright, and the composition of the colors, alright. And it's when you took an arrow to the knee, then your knee break, alright. So it's more talking about the surface lah, alright, contact surface of this thing, alright, which we have talked about in the earlier parts already. Contact surface, talking about the friction, the asperatus, the roughness, if you remember. You can search keywords in the playlist to check it out. So I think all in all, hopefully this gives you a full understanding of everything about the coating, alright. And therefore I think this is it lah, alright.